Why do military veterans do well in business and excel in their careers? Find out more in this episode of VetBizTV.
The hunt for the sale is one thing, but it's also seeing that you were part of maybe a building or something architectural. It was always fun to see a drive-by down the highway or whatever it may be and say, hey, we were part of that, which is some gratification in that. Doesn't always reflect all the headaches that went into it, but it's definitely at the end of the project, hopefully gratifying.
Today's guest is Jason Young. Jason is a military veteran, served in both the Marine Corps and the Wisconsin Army National Guard. He's now the CEO and president of 3Up Metalworks. 3Up Metalworks was voted Vetrepreneur Business of the Year in 2021 by the Daily Reporter. Thanks for jumping on.
Thanks,
Jason.
Brian. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So you've worked your way up through the ranks in both the military and business. Was business ownership something that you envisioned?
I don't think it was envisioned that I would come out and decide, hey, I should put everything against myself and own a business. I think through the ranks and as you grow, you decide whether you can do it yourself, do it better, especially now with the entrepreneurship and a lot of things that are out there. People are going on their own. It was something that probably became of interest the past, 5 to 8 years of something that I thought, well, we can do it. We can do it better. Where you take some of the things that you've learned and culminated that into, okay, this is where I think the business could go or grow, and decide to go all in.
So why did you choose to get into the construction industry? And what do you like most about what you do?
Sure. Construction was not part of something I had done in the past. I grew up doing sales. What do people do when they didn't have the degree at the time? They go into sales because that's the quickest way to make money. I enjoyed the hunt, the sale. Eventually went back and got a degree and all that. But again, initially coming out of the military, going to school, didn't have necessarily direction. The construction side came along probably about 10 years ago. It just was a natural wave of something I got into. I think in sales, if you're good at sales, it doesn't really matter what you're selling. And then the opportunity came to one of the markets in sales and understanding both sales but also operations. The hunt for the sale is one thing, but it's also seeing that you were part of maybe a building or something architectural. It was always fun to see a drive-by down the highway or whatever it may be and say, hey, we were part of that, which is some gratification in that. Doesn't always reflect all the headaches that went into it, but it's definitely at the end of the project, hopefully gratifying.
That's awesome. So, you being a business owner, you're busy. You got a lot of different things to manage, a lot of different projects to oversee, things of that nature. What's a typical day look like for you?
There is no real typical day, but I can tell you that it starts, I think, from myself being very regimented and very, I need structure. The military gave me that. I have continued that, so it's get up, work out between 4 and 4:30, get to the gym. That helps me set my day up in my head. It helps me talk and I have a conversation in my head if I have meetings going on. What are the topics? Who do I need to talk to? Am I interviewing somebody? Do I have to talk accounting? Where are the books at? All those things I'm able to do early on in the morning, so by the time I get to work, my day is set up, in my head at least. We know that everything doesn't go according as planned, but at least I have a plan going into it. And I think that, excuse me, talks to, and you'll see it on our website, it's the 80-20 rule, 80% plan, 20% execute. So go in with a good plan of the day, knowing that it's probably not gonna go according to plan, but it usually starts out with going into the office, finding out what do we have on the job board, finding out what we have going on in the shop, Do we need anything for the shop, for a job? And then I typically am jumping into sales meetings, trying to go visit customers, get on site, take a tour, find out what they're doing. I like learning about what companies do or how things are made. I don't think that it necessarily talks to that we may even get work out of it, but it's interesting to me to find out what something does, and it offers me the opportunity to walk through and see if there is opportunity and point things out that we can do. If it's interviewing people, bringing them in, and from an administrative side of things, everybody at my shop will probably tell you I shouldn't be on the shop floor, touch anything, make anything, do anything, because it's just my forte. But I kind of get a sense of, from the administrative side, how somebody is. They have to take a weld test, they have to talk to the other employees to ensure that they fit the culture that we're creating.
That's awesome. That's pretty funny that they don't trust you on the floor.
No, it travels through the house. I don't touch anything at home. We outsource, so if we need something, let me know, because I'm going to be calling.
Yeah, that's funny. What are 2 to 3 takeaways that you took away from the military that you still apply to your life today, and how do you think that's fueled your success?
I think it starts with getting up. You get out of bed. Know that a lot of your friends, colleagues, coworkers, or whatever aren't doing it. So you already set yourself above everybody else by getting up, going to work out, training your mind, getting set for the day. Have a plan. I think planning and sticking to a plan or an agenda is something that continues to keep the flow of the day, or flow of a meeting, or flow of whatever, to have an agenda. And then hold accountability. You do a lot of things throughout the week, whether it's holding yourself accountable for a meeting, a sale, a quote that needs to get out. All that comes down to accountability. So from that standpoint, it starts from planning, an agenda or schedule, and then again, holding things accountable.
Veterans, if they're looking to get into the trades, which they do very well, and we've had this conversation before, but why do you think the trades are a good industry for veterans to get into?
The trades have somewhat, if you're into apprenticeship, or if you like results based off of things that you've done, which is, I think when you go through the military, all those results there's something you've done, your team has done, your regiment, whatever it may be, has done, but they also stick to a schedule. The trades seem to have, at least with, say, apprenticeships and things of that kind of program, those kind of schedules. We are putting an agenda or schedule together by saying, you're coming in at this. The military, you're coming in as a nobody. You don't know anything, and nor do we expect you to. Breaking you down or taking you and training you through the program to an end result that says you have the basic skills that you need to go on and do going forward. Unlike college per se, not that it's for everybody, college takes those people and then you have to go through a lot of schooling. There's a lot of money that's being set out for this stuff. I'm not saying that anything is wrong with it, it's just there's 2 different paths. That I think with the apprenticeship programs out there, with either companies or with unions or anything like that, you can come out debt-free, have an education, have the hands-on skilled trades that are out there, and then turn that into automatic growth within, whether it be financial, your well-being, your family, all of that. I think those things transfer over a lot more than when they were with the military than they do to maybe just a traditional, I'm going to high school, I'm going to college, figure out when you're 21, and then have an idea, don't have necessarily an idea what you're going to do when you get out of college.
Yeah, absolutely. So, when they get into the trades, they don't necessarily, let's just take a plumber for instance, they don't have to be the plumber their entire life. There is a career path within that industry. They could be a project manager, estimator, work their way up through the chain too,
definitely,
right?
It takes on a different, you come out again with the basic skills of, I would say, maybe plumbing or whatever that would be. But it also, you have to take that to the next level, which is to get to your journeyman license. at least with the unions and things like that. Now there may be other courses that if you're not within unions, but there is an apprenticeship program, you do go on and find your best skill set. I may really like managing certain things, and I know how they work. Maybe I'm not the best, like myself, at physically doing them. So you have project managers, you have purchasing, you have other things that are involved with all of those, but it's all staying within that skilled trade that you may have. There's quite a few people that take on a skilled trade and then jump to another skilled trade. So for them, it's maybe getting more tools for their toolbox and understanding. I'm more of a value with more that I know than I am someone that I know a lot, but I'm just keeping it to myself.
Yep.
I always say, great, you're good now, but you go get hit by a bus. There has been zero transfer of information. There has been zero crossover.
Yep.
You're more benefiting the company by giving out that information, training someone that's younger, and now you brought on, I have the capability to do twice as much.
Yep, absolutely. That's, I mean, that's good clarification, because there's a lot of, I've talked to some veterans who, they've kind of put the trades down when they were getting out of the military, and that wasn't anything that they did wrong. I think it was just a misconception. Like, I don't want to be a plumber my whole life. Well, you don't have to be.
Sure.
There's ways that you can move up. You can be a superintendent, you can be a project manager, you can be an estimator, and eventually, in your case, an owner.
Yeah, if that's a career path you want to go down. But I think in general, I don't think the trades were looked very highly of the past how many decades here, just because it was, you're going to go to college, you're going to go do this.
Yep.
You went to the military, and that's not to say that you weren't college bound eventually or this or that, but like myself, you had to go find yourself and get kicked in the rear a few times just to really understand an idea of, okay, I have at least now somewhat of a path or what I like, a strategy. How do I get things done? This is what I like to do. And then transfer that into, okay, what are my options as I'm either going to school or going through a technical college or a skilled trade? How do you figure that all out along the succession plan? And I always say you should have, what am I doing now? What am I doing in the next year, half a year, and then where do I want to be down the road? And those are goals, and you should always have those goals set up in mind, understanding that paths change, but always be going towards something before you're just stagnant.
Yep. We've got to know each other pretty well over the last few years, and one thing that I've noticed about you is you lead by example. You're a doer, you go out and get things done. The other thing is you're really good at networking. Networking is kind of how you came across this opportunity with 3 Up Metalworks. How important has networking been for you personally and your business?
Sure. Networking has become a huge opportunity for sales in a business, to meet other like-minded individuals, to grow some friendships, to find some vendors, to find some customers. So all of those things are encompassed in what a business should be looking at. They may have departments, they may have one person, like myself. It was never something that I was very good at up front, just because I was more of an introvert. I knew what I wanted to do, and I'll just go do it myself type of person. It took me it took me about a year, just finally saying, enough's enough. We have to grow, and we have to figure this out. And if I'm going to be the one doing that, because we can't take on more overhead, I need to get involved with things. So I think I jumped in and joined 6 different groups of all facets, whether it's construction, whether it's veteran, whether it's whatever, chambers for the cities. Just to understand, what are we doing? Where is my niche? And after that, I started carving out, okay, some of these things weren't as of a return on investment than maybe some of these were. So let's focus a little bit more on those. And I give everything about a year to figure out whether I liked it, whether I got something back out of it. I found myself that there was ones that were great, I still enjoyed, and that's where I met probably you and some of these other people. But at the same token, what was the true value that I got out of it? And I think that's what you have to look at after you evaluate. I'm signing up for a year. Did you get value from these networking groups? And
ROI.
Yep, definitely.
So being as busy as you are, running a company and volunteering and,
Sure.
going to all these networking events and stuff like that, how do you How do you manage your work-life balance, between, your personal and your work?
Beg for forgiveness. It's taken definitely some time to get used to. I can do this, I can't do that. I'm never one that says, well, I'm the boss, I can do what I want. That doesn't grow our business. Being a small business, that's not a thought process I would agree that's going to continue to be a business. But at the same token, I have a strong family. I have a great wife and children that I like to be around. But at the same token, we know let's get in and let's do the hard work up front, and the benefits will be coming later down the road, I hope, with the things that we've done thus far. It's communication. From my end, it's taking my schedule and looking at not only that, do I have time to do something, then I have to look at the family schedule. Is who's got basketball, who's got football, who's got whatever sports are out there, and then also do we have something going on with the family in general. I would say that our weekends are pretty much locked up by the end of January of every year. My wife does a great job at filling the calendar and keeping things online, and I just have to make sure that our weekends are for the family and what we're doing. During the week we have some things that have to take place, but I also have to help out when I can, and she would probably say something different, but I am trying.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you learn as you go too, right?
Yeah.
I'm a veteran looking to get out of the military right now. What advice would you give me? What steps should I take moving forward in evaluating that decision?
Sure. I think take time through the transition as you're transitioning out. There's a lot of things out there that weren't around when you and I were getting out, or even way back, further back than there. And now I'm sure there's a lot different with transition, because I think they've figured out that the transition process out of the military to civilian life was doing and setting the next person up for failure, because you got out, it was great, you wanted to be out, I'm going to go to the bar. Okay, that lasted a week or two, and now it's like I should probably get a job. Yeah. Or I should go to school or do whatever. Really take that time to figure out what your path might be, talk to those transition officers. Hopefully when you get out of that, you have an idea of where you want to go. Whether it be, I really like this, I really like my job in the military, I didn't like my job in the military, but at least you found that out, and what are some other things that you may have liked or done. So once you get out, I would definitely try to find out who that either chamber or that transition officer or your, I forget the acronym, but whoever's on the ground when you get there, you can find out, okay, I live in Milwaukee. Where do I go? Do you find your VA? Do you talk to the local Legion post or VFW post? Someone there will know, where do I go? Intertwine yourself with veterans. Get quickly back into that. Okay, I need to lean on my people, which are the veteran community. Where do I go from there? They will definitely give you probably a good sense of where you need to go after. I mean, if someone came up to you and I and many others probably could tell them a list of places they should go, yeah, that they had no idea to go to. So find and cling on to a veteran organization once you get out. From that point, it's okay, if there's a skilled trade, hey, I'm looking to do this. We know, go to a veterans networking group. They're out there. It doesn't take long to find out or figure out where they are. Mm-hmm. Secure yourself with another veteran background. If you're having trouble, those people will be able to help you. We look after our own. Those are the kind of things that still transfer over to what we do. And from that point, I think you grow on and grow forward. But right away, it's find out, what options are open to you. Where do I go once I get there? Once I'm here, who do I need to talk to? And then move forward with that.
Thanks for sharing that. Last question here. What's next for Jason in the next 5 to 10 years?
5 to 10 years is a long time. Considering I'm trying to remember what I did last week and trying to remember what else I have to do this week. From 5 to 10 years, I'm looking probably what's in the next 3 to 5 years, and I would say we're looking to still grow and find our niche as 3-up. We have a good base. There's some opportunities that I think we could branch out to, but until we get very good, at some of the things we've already grown into, we weren't going to move forward until that happens. We have to look at the ever-changing economy of things. Is there still going to be growth? Is there still going to be those kind of things in the next 3 to 5 years? 5 to 10, we can't say, because I think we're very dependent upon what goes on, whether it's political, whether it's your city is growing, your city is shrinking, things of that nature. So from our standpoint, we want to be good and continue to grow and build a culture and bring good people on for 3UP. For me personally, it's still continuing to that work-life balance. It's understanding that what we've done and reached right now still can be shared with the family, and I should be more involved on those kind of ends, and I hope to, as time goes on and we put the right people in the right positions and they understand the vision of what we're all looking for, that I can start continuing to do that. And it's still getting out with the veteran community and doing more within the organizations that we're involved with.
Awesome, man. Appreciate your time,
Absolutely,
Jason.
thank you.
If you support military veterans, military spouses, veteran-owned businesses, and veteran nonprofits, hit the subscribe button below and hit the bell to get alerts on new content coming out. We appreciate your support. If you know of any patriots doing great things in business and community that we should interview, please let us know in the comment section below. We look forward to seeing you on the next episode of VetBizTV.